Hello and welcome to another episode of The Stew with JT Brew. I'm your host, Justin Taylor. It is week 2 of college football. We talk about all my favorite picks and the big games of the week. Stick with me. You're in The Stew.
You up on trades and wire moves, you ain't designed to lose. Find you jumping over seemingly nothing, racking up points, makes the game a little more fun to watch. Can drop release, we started with the mock draft and now we making a mockery of the leaderboard. Quite obviously not a scrub, so start an institute, make evaluations like a commissioner do. It's to the point your wife make you watch in a different room. Update your roster and pick and choose when you get some news. Not much that we enjoy more than sifting through new statistics to make it to our end zones through different routes. Universities, institutes, down to homies who click in groups. I introduce you to the Stew with JT Brew.
Thanks for joining me here on The Stew with JT Brew. Week 2 college football season is upon us. Games starting this weekend. I'm going to go over some of the big games of the week, kind of what I like, what best to look for. So let's get started. Big game to start things off. Colorado versus Nebraska. Old Big 12 rivalry. These teams hate each other. This rivalry goes way, way back to the Big 8 days. Colorado, just the absolute huge upset last week of TCU, 45-42. Everybody said, hey, can Deion do it? He got all these new players. Are they for real? They came out and smoked TCU. Great game, 45-42, offensive fireworks the entire way. Now the question is, can Colorado keep it going? This week they come in, they were 21-point underdog last week, covered that, switched the line big time going into Nebraska. They came in as a 3-point favorite, Nebraska. Right now it's sitting at -2.5 at minus 110. Over under is 54.5. I'm leaning Colorado in this. Nebraska did not look good last week. They lost 13-10 in just an turnover play game against the Minnesota Golden Gophers. The offense just seems like too much firepower for Colorado. I'm all over the bus this week against Nebraska. They're at home. The crowd is going to be insane. Everything's sold out in Boulder. It is going to be nuts there. I am taking the -2.5 for sure on Colorado. I think Shedeur Sanders and this offense is just way too much for the Nebraska defense. Now, speaking of Shedeur Sanders, set a school record 500 yards passing, 4 touchdowns in the opener. Unreal performance. Now, if you checked up my show to start the year, we did a preseason bets I liked, props I liked. I said the dark horse Heisman winner was Shedeur Sanders. It was plus 20,000 last week. It is now plus 6,000. That's how high he has risen after one game. Now, it's still a dark horse long shot. Colorado's going to have to be good for most of this year, and he's going to have to just absolutely light it up like he did in the opener. But that's pretty good odds from plus 20,000 to plus 6,000. So I hope you listened to me and got on that plus 20,000 while you could. Next big game of the day, Notre Dame versus NC State. Notre Dame, 7.5-point favorite, -104 over on FanDuel, over under 50.5 at -150. I'm taking Notre Dame in this game. They're 2-0 on the season. They looked really good in both games. Sam Hartman is playing phenomenal at QB. The defense has been tough. And NC State just did not impress me last week. They went to Connecticut, barely pulled that game out as a 2-touchdown favorite. I think Notre Dame, even on the road at NC State, I think they cover this 7.5. I think they win by 10, at least in this game. So I'm going Notre Dame in the points. Another big matchup of the day, Texas A&M at Miami. Big game, A&M -4.5-point favorite. Over-under is 51.5. This game feels like kind of a toss-up game. A&M, this is a game they should probably win. They've just been so tough lately to kind of trust them. If I have to bet, I'm probably avoiding this game, but if I had to bet it, I'm probably going to take A&M in the points. Think they could possibly win this game by a score. A game that should have an absolute ton of fireworks. Ole Miss at Tulane. The Rebels come in a 7.5-point favorite, over under 66. These teams can pile up the points. Rebels put up 73 in the opener. Tulane scored over 30 in their game. 66 seems like a ton, but I think both these teams who play high-paced, up-tempo football are going to get there. I kind of am leaning towards Tulane at plus 7.5. Give them a touchdown at home against Ole Miss, who blew out in their opener, but I still don't know if this team's for real on defense. I probably lean Tulane 7.5, but probably the safest bet is taking the over 66. I think both these teams easily score in the 30s in this game, possibly in the 40s. So I'm probably taking the over 66. But if you like the home dog at 7.5, I wouldn't hate you taking Tulane in that one. Wisconsin, Washington State is an interesting matchup. Badgers 6.5-point favorite. Quarterback play did not look great. They ran the ball crazy good, though. Even though they spread it out, opened it up a little bit more than they did in the past. They did not complete a ton of passes, but the running game was phenomenal. Washington State is who we thought they would be. A team that throws the ball all over the place. They looked pretty good. This one, I am not – this one's another one. I'm not sure I feel confident in this one, so I'm probably avoiding at the 105. If you put my arm, my hand to the fire, I'm probably taking the Badgers at -6.5. I'm just not sure how for real Washington State is, but probably the safer bet again is an over. I think Wisconsin, if they can pound the rock on this one, I would take that at 59.5. I think both these teams could possibly score in the 30s, so I'm probably taking the over if I had to in that one. Another game, as we've seen early on, a lot of fireworks are going to be out west in the Pac-12 and in the Big 12 as well. Oregon at Texas Tech, 6.5-point dogs is Oregon at -112. Over under 68.5. I'm taking the Ducks here, and I'm probably taking the over. These two teams will put up a ton of points. The Ducks scored 81 in the opener. Texas Tech had 33 in a loss in double OT to Wyoming. I just think Oregon is really good. I think this offense is just lights out. Bo Nix is getting the ball to everyone. I'm taking the points -6.5, but I'm also probably taking the over in this game, as I think there's no way that Oregon's not putting up 40, 50 points this game, and I don't think they'll stop Texas Tech from scoring. But the safe play to me is the -6.5 at -112. Probably the game of the day that most people are going to have their eyes on. The big one is Texas at Alabama. This could swing both these teams' seasons big time. Whoever comes out on top on this one is going to have a leg up in their conference. They're going to have a leg up in the top 25 when it comes to playoffs, and they come back and look at who won this game. This is going to be a huge one. Right now, it's sitting at Alabama -7 at -114 on FanDuel, over under 53.5. I'm not 100% sure that I know enough about any of these defense to go over the under in this game. I think it feels like an over game. It feels like they're going to put up points. There's talent on these offense. It's Quinn Ewers versus Jalen Milroe. Quinn Ewers, Texas quarterback. Everybody's talked about him forever. This is his chance to really kind of prove himself this year. And going a long way to doing that and getting high NFL draft capital will be playing well against Alabama and Jalen Milroe. So I'm going to lean Texas in this game at +7. I just think this game feels like it's going to be really close. It feels like a battle to the end. I'm going to lean the +7 on Texas and think it's a close matchup and think there's possibility that Texas actually wins this game. So if you like Texas, I wouldn't hate you jumping on the money line in this, but I'm going to take the points at +7 for Texas. Now I got a little Friday night special for you. The Illini got the jersey on here, taking on Kansas at Kansas. Kansas is a -3 favorite right now. Over-under is 58.5. I'm leaning towards Illinois money line in this game. There's a lot of statistics, computer analysis out there right now that says Illinois should be the favorite in this game. And I think they're about a 56% chance of winning the game. So KU at home getting that 3 points. I'm leaning the money line +130 Illinois. I think they can get it done. The Jayhawks are supposed to get quarterback Jalen Daniels back. He did not play week 1, an injury. They said he's probably going to play this week. I don't know how. I mean, he's a guy that's all athleticism. I'm just not so sure he's going to come out and be 100% and be able to run all over the field. That's what the line I struggled with last week against Toledo and their running quarterback. Illinois won that one on a last-second field goal, 30-28. I think it was closer than it should have been. Illini let them back in the game. They actually had to make some big plays near the end to end up getting the win, but I think they kind of learned from that game. I'm going to go the upset with Illinois in this game, and I'm going to take the money line +130. Now, also, I will throw out here my JT Parlay play of the day for you. This is where I like to take 3, 4, 5 games, throw them together and make a monster parlay that's usually plus 800, plus 1,000. So it's a long shot. So, if you like one or two of these plays, maybe just play them individually or throw them together as maybe a 2-pick parlay or a 3-pick parlay. I like to take the chances with the 4-pick parlay, really knocks the odds up there. So I'm taking Colorado at the -2.5. I'm just all over that. I just think they end up hammering Nebraska at home. They've got all the momentum, and I just don't like Nebraska. I just don't think they're very good this year. Notre Dame, I'm throwing in at 7.5. I think they put it to North Carolina State. The Tulane Ole Miss over at 66. Both these teams are going to push the football. I just think this is going to be just nonstop points in this game. So I'm taking the over 66, and I'm taking Oregon -6.5. I think this team is going to pile on the points. I think they're going to win pretty handily. So my 4-pick parlay, I'm going 1 unit at plus 1,180 on FanDuel. That's a 4-pick parlay, 1 unit at plus 1,180. Colorado -2.5, Notre Dame -7.5, Tulane, Ole Miss over at 66, and Oregon -6.5. Thanks for checking me out here on the Stew. Just a quick one today to get you guys set up for this weekend. I'll be back with more bets. Make sure to check out my NFL betting options for week 1 coming up this week. I would appreciate everybody for checking me out here. You can find me on the X at JT Orange. Also, make sure to check out Dynasty Pro's YouTube channel where you can look up all my past episodes. Get in there. Still some player prop bets you can put in for the season that I mentioned in some earlier episodes. And check out all my podcasts at the Stew at JT Brew, online, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all your favorite places there. I appreciate everybody for joining us. May all your draft picks hit and the trade never quit. Thanks. We're out.
You up on you up on trades and why you move. You ain't designed to lose.